Mm, I do one of these in a minute. Well, this is what if Deku was a dragon? This is the Dragon King. It's a Dragon Lord. Yes, he's a Dragon Lord. No, I had to do a little research, find a few dragon abilities, cause the basic ones just always see just like fire breathing and different types of ice and stuff like that. But I want that could be busted for this one, like extremely busted. No, this actually start off in like a few centuries before the actual anime, like in medieval times. So how it's going to be is this is actually Deku here. No, it's a man.
No problem.
No, I don't got no sense. Like totally forget what part it was. Medieval times. Da 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 da. Right. No, back in medieval times, they would be using magic and stuff. They'll be using magic within daily lives and adventures and stuff. So when quirks come around, quirks can be like different branches of magic. So they would originate from magic, but they would just not be able to. They would have forgotten how to like chant spells and stuff like that. So to them, it's not like a new thing that came about, but it's actually just a a different type of magic that evolve. So it doesn't need a chance. It just needs like bodily functions and stuff like that. So like original fire magic, and then like it will branch off into different sections like Endeavor Flame, the explosions, Bakugo's use, Dobby's flames, you know, fire breathing, different forms like that. Each main section it will branch off, creating separate curves and thing. All like beast magic. Beast magic was then separated onto like the like Tokiyami, the lizard man that a party league of the villains spinner thing that he named and stuff like that. If you, that's how it will branch off. No, in that specific time, not a king. We just said this king was probably a descendant of uh, King Arthur, a descendant. He same magic sword, etc., etc. But in this time, they had a dragon, and this dragon, even though he wasn't killing people, he would still ravage village, that gold, all that, you know. And then if you trespass when he land, he would have for sure killed you. But he don't kill just so if you attack he, you trespass when he land, you try to steal and he go dead. No, in this point in time, so like a few people they gathering out and talking to the king and telling the king how they got to do something about the dragon. So the king decided he would go and deal with the dragon himself. So he went, he had this dragon fight, and he ended up dropping he magical sword in the dragon's skull. No, it wouldn't kill the dragon. It would put the dragon in like a deep hibernation for centuries. Deep hibernation. No, after a few centuries, no. This is where we will know This is where we begin the actual anime. No, to the actual anime, we get to when All Might and Off One had their first fight. No, we never see the actual fight in the anime. As far as I can remember, the actual original fight. So I can just say it. Same two got like two of the most powerful quirks that the two of the most powerful quirks that derive from the magic. So basically it is magic enhancement for all might quirk, magic enhancement and magic storage for all might quirk. And then like this the same thing for all of one. So magical stockpiling. I think just like two of them the most dominant, the most rare, the rarest type of magic back in the medieval time. So when two of those opposites clash, it would do something. It would start to crack the sword. No. After a few blows, after the fight was finished with All Might versus One for All, the sword will actually break. So with every clash, it would show cracks in the sword for how powerful that was. No. After the sword break, the dragon will wake up. And let's see. And after you woke up, you pull the rest of the blade from his snout. And he will wake up and be like, that human put me in a deep hibernation. I shouldn't have underestimated that king. It won't happen again, that's for sure. So when he started knowing he would look around, he caved and said like, after putting me to sleep, they took back most of my treasure is gone. Luckily they didn't find all of it. And he would just like lash down his tail and it would open like a different section of a cavern that would got like a bigger stockpile of going on thing, and he would smell. And he was like, maybe I should see what the outside world looks like and stretch my wings a bit. No. Deku would I just tell you Deku would step outside the cave. Actually the cave would be blocked off. So he would have to destroy the front of the cave to re-emerge. And when he would look up and see it's like a full moon that always starts showing out there. Then he would just start to stretch his wings and flap and go up in the sky. No. The bystanders around who will be looking up in the sky and then would eventually see like this figure of a dragon up in the sky. But then would automatically assume like it was a dragon type quirk. And somebody illegally using that quirk, you know. Well, Deku will start to look around and see that the world he knew has changed. In more straw huts of villagers, a muddy landscape, nothing. It's just a lot more advanced. And he would then murmur to himself like, how long have I been asleep for? So he would then get down back to the cave and be like, maybe I should see what's actually happening out in the world. So he would go know he would start to change his body, like his physical appearance. Because some dragons could do that. Some high level dragons could actually change into humans and still keeping a few features of the dragon, like the eyes and stuff like that. No, he would start to morph into a human, changing his wings, removing his tail, and changing his figure. You know, he would eventually changing to this. I had a different picture for you, but you know, it looked too flashy, so I didn't bother using it. No, the scars from his eye and from his cheek is from the fight with the king that sealed him. So when he transformed, he is something. Yes. And I wonder how comes these injuries aren't healing. Maybe that sword had some properties to do some serious damage to me. It's probably best I hug that away before someone finds it. No, he actually got to pick up the sword. Well, the sword hilt, called the blade actually broke, and it was saying it was shocky. It would like what's the word? Repel. It would repel he from touching the sword, and he'd be like, "What? What type of magic did that sword have to do this to me, of all people?" He would be like, "Fine, as long as it's in my cave, no one shall find it." And then he would actually go and take up 3 gold coins. I'd be like, I don't really like using my money, but just in case I have to spend it on something, I'll try my best. No. Deku would leave the cave and he would turn around and be like, don't really need anyone searching in there. So he would snap his fingers and like he would use earth magic to build back up a wall and block out the cave. Now, before I go further, let me say this. Raw magic is stronger than the quirks. Remember they said quirks branch off from magic. So the raw magic features are actually stronger than the lower branches of magic. So like if he was to use like a raw fire magic, it would be stronger than Endeavor's flame. It might not change the color, so to say, but it would be more lethal than he actual health flames, if that makes sense. But anyway, no. After Deku left the cave, he would sprout back out his wings and fly off to the nearest city, the closest part of the city. Now when he lands, people will be looking at him, saying like, "Oh, does he have some type of mutation quirk?" And Deku will hear quirk. What the hell is that? So he would go up to like. He would walk up to like a random nobody. No, he figured it looked like a 16 to 17-year-old. Cause some dragons got like immortality or semi-immortality, and some of these age slow. So like, in he dragon form, he'd be like millions of years old and stuff like that. Like, this is 17 million years old, but 17 centuries or so, something. So but in human form, it will look like he's actually 17 or 16. So he will go up to let me see. He will go up to a pro, some random pro. I must have porn. It's almost said porn, but I still end up saying it twice. Anyways, he will go up to this pro that is being a fake hero or doing things for publicity and stuff like that. No, he will walk up to the hero and ask like he was like, human, what century is this? Now to the pro it sounds like Deku speaking a different language cause he ain't adapt to the surroundings or not so yet. And the hero said like, what are you saying, kid? And Deku would be like, kid, I'm far older than you, you little brat. No. Would you mind telling me what century this is? And the pro's like, kid, whatever you're saying, I don't understand. So please just, if you don't want an autograph or anything, so just piss off. And Deku wouldn't understand what he's saying either, but he would get the body motion that he telling he to like, fuck off. So Deku would be like, all right, and he would start to raise the hand. He aimed at his finger, and it would create a no. Let me see. Hold on. I want to do this as I'm watching. I want to do this as it would. Let me see. Wait. Call no. It's called atmospheric adaptation. No, what that means is like what Starfire. If you ever watch the old Teen Titans, when Starfire kissed Robin, how she would gain the native tongue. Right. So it sounded like he adapting to the native language, I think. No. Deku would do. He would touch the pro. He actually touched the pro, and the pro would be like, "What? You're still here, kid?" And then Deku would ask like, "I'll ask you again. What century is this, human?" And he probably like, "Century is the 21st century, kid. Did you hit your head or something? Now let go of me. No, just being arrogant, I think." And that could be, I see. That means I've been asleep for, I still made a guess. It's like, this is at least like 400 years, give or take. Yeah, I want some 400 years. Yeah, fuck it. We saw 400 years. I ain't know the exact thing, but yeah, we just saw 400 years. And that could be like, let's see. That would explain why the city looks so different and why. If I've been asleep for 400 years, give or take, that means that king is dead. But he has a descendant somewhere, and that descendant probably has the ability to grab that sword and put me back to sleep. That could be trouble. Right? I'll find that descendant and I'll, let's say, befriend him at least, so he doesn't put me back into hibernation for the next four centuries, or hell, even longer. This time, the descendant might actually kill me. No, Deku will walk alone, and he was like, I don't really need to live in the. I don't need to. I mean, no, he was like, I need to figure out what's actually happened these last few years. No, he will walk and he will go to where it is now. He'll walk and go to the library, and he would go down and he would ask like another person, some random person on the street, like, Miss, where can I find a place that has the history of this city? And she would look at you weird and be like, if you were talking about the library, if you walk straight down this road and take a left, it should be right in front of you, conveniently. And Deku would answer, thank you, and walk home. And she would say to herself, he's a odd fellow. He's kind of weird, but he is handsome. And so Deku would go to the library and he would start to do. He would sit down and he would start to read from detail. No, not detail. He would read like from he time straight up to this time, and he will learn that the king, after the king slayed him in quotations, the city thrived after they got back their gold and stuff. Right. As I was saying, no. I'll tell you a tale about how the king slayed him in quotations, and after the country regained their gold, they lived a peaceful life for like a few years till the great king passed away. And after that, a few of his kin, K-I-N, would have been fighting for the throne and stuff like that. And then it would have separated into different territories. Now this is my universe. I know the world ain't actually stationed like this, but just go with it. And it was separated into like the mainland. Pan will be Japan. The eldest son would have taken Japan. The second son would have taken the States, and the third youngest son would have taken like Europe and different Spanish speaking countries and stuff like that, you know? But they all came to the agreement that they won't meddle in each other's affairs, but if one needs help, they'll be at each other's side, you know? So that's how that happened. So, and then he will go to learn that after a few years passing, people stop using like the raw version of magic, the more destructive version. Instead, them learn to after them start using like, you don't gonna use enchantments, but like building up the enough after using them mana cores or whatever. Them essentially saw that they could use the magic, but the only drawback is instead of it taking mana, it either exhausts them or uses something specific for whichever type of magic they would use. If they were using ice, it would, depending on how strong the ice would, it would give them frostbite. If they were using fire, they would have to use their sweat or something to utilize the flames, and or if they were to breathe it, it would cause their throats to get. Wait is that was the thing with beating it. Their throats like start to burn or whatever. Sometimes so. No, that cool learn that and learn that and see like I so like well these he was so like these squirts are branches of different magic, and these humans forgot how to use their mana, their mana, um, their mana, their mana core. So that means he was spawned like that means they're either the mana core doesn't exist anymore in the body, or it's still there, but they just don't know how to use it. And the mana core is what I would think is like what's showing you where your quirk is. So like in the animated, so like if you got this extra joint or something so in your body, you got a quirk, but if you don't got it, you don't got a quirk. And that's what the mana core is. That extra joint is that mana core. And some people, maybe like a few peasants or whatever, that didn't originally have magic that they could use, them is the quirkless population. So them is the people that don't got a mana core. And they could be like, well, lucky me. He'll say like, lucky me, I guess. That means no one here besides the king's descendants can actually injure me. That was kind of interesting to say the least. And he'll go off and say like, but maybe it would be best if I could gather a few subordinates just in case it does happen. So let's have some people on my side at least. And he will finish reading all about the history and how heroes came about and any villains and stuff like that. And he would then be like, alright, it seems I understand how this world works now. So after he visited Liberty, he would go and say, I wonder if this gold is still viable. And he would start to look around places, different places. He actually get into a food, a restaurant. I don't always forget that word, but a restaurant. And he would come in and ask the one like this, like, is this acceptable here in this establishment? And he also like, what's that? And that goes to like, it's pure gold. Is it usable or not? And she was so like, I'm not sure. I'll have to go and ask the manager. And the manager would come out and be like, yes sir, is there an issue? And he was like, no, I just want to know if pure gold is accepted here. It's worth it's worth a good amount, no? And the manager was so like, even if it's worth a good amount, we won't have any sort of change to give you, sir. I recommend you heading to a company or industry would give you the right amount of money for it. Now he would give you some he would give you some number to go and cash off like gold and stuff like that. And and he goes there be this fellow with a money quirk, and he looks into he hand like into a ring, a circle of me, and when he look through it, he would look at something, he would look at anything, and he could visually see how much something worth. Now he would do it, and he would demand was like, do you have anything to trade, young man? And that was so like, and you have this gold coin here. Can you tell me how much it's worth? And the man was so like, well, if it's pure gold, it's worth quite a penny, good sir. Well, let me just use my. And he would stop me to be, and he would see like the um the um the gold is worth. Let's say in Japan, we got estimate how much this is. Be right back. Right now, this ain't the actual amount, cause I don't know how you could value gold, but we saw like it's worth. If it was in the states, it would be worth at least 100. A billion is actually a realistic number of money though. Cause like old, the coin's still old. It's like worth like 100 billion or so, man. Exact 100 billion. And the man be like, sir, this coin is actually priceless, but the highest I could go is 100 billion at most. And that could is that a lot? And the man was like, is that a lot, sir? That's at least more money than an actual pro hero makes. You know, the closest people, well, not even the closest, the furthest people away from making that type of money is probably the Yarorosos, or whatever you fuck this pronounce names. Mama and them family, and they're at least like a few zeros behind you. When I say a few, I mean like a lot. And I could be like, well, I guess that's a lot. Here, could you do these two as well? And the man will fall back in surprise, and he'll be like, sir, can I have your name? And he will be like, my name. And then he'll start to think like I never really had a name. He thinking he had like the humans back in my time would have called me a demon, or the Dragon Lord, or the Dragon King, or the Great Destroyer. And then he would think like, no. If I'm in Japan and they use a different type of name, would it be smart? He would then just say like Izuku, and then then he might also like, well, Mr. Izuku, I'd like to do a business with you. Any more gold you find, would you mind selling it to me? And Deku said, I don't mind, but why? And he would answer like, cause if the money is melted down, I'm a antique gatherer. I make with my quirk I can access any wealth just by looking through my fingers when I make a circle. And I'd have different establishments that I run, and the goal I could probably melt it down into something quite usable for the heroes or anything. So some cheesy shit. So some business proposals. So that would be like, well, I don't mind, but I won't be coming like immediately. And wow, so like that's not an issue, Mr. Izuku. Once you find any and you bring it here, I'll gladly pay you how much ever it's worth. And that could be like, oh, that's good to know. So how are you going to give me the money? Is it going to be in pennies? And the man will laugh and be like, goodness no, sir, I could just wire it to your bank account. And then he'll look at he confused and be like, wait, what? And he'll be like, you don't have a bank account? And that was, no, I don't. And the man was like, alright, how about this? This is this is the card I give to my employees to so that for those who don't have a bank account as of yet, so I could wire it to them. Because I'm not gonna lie, Mr. Izuku, this isn't really a legal establishment. And that goes like, what do you mean? Well, I dabble in both heroes and villains. Whoever gives me the best quality, I make stuff for, depending on who asks. But and that could answer like, well, I don't really care about good or evil, as long as I got my money. And he was like, well, of course. Well, you can use this card here for. You can use this card here for as long as you want. I'll wire the money to that card. Whichever things you bring, I'll always wire it to it. And that was like, interesting. It's portable money. And he would be like, yeah, something like that. And he would tell you like, here's the pin to the card and everything. It's like a high privilege black credit card. Well, like when you tilt it, it's like a holographic, like that thing. You know, it's a top grade. It's a top notch type of credit card. Like only the wealthiest of the wealthiest people got this card. You know. Definitely like, all right. I'll see you whenever I need to trade anything. And mom was like, well, it's been a pleasure doing business with you, Mr. Izuku. And I could just wave off Hihanate. No. He would after leaving that whole sense, so like, if I'm gonna be accustomed to this world and gather more intel, not that I need anymore. I think it's best I don't go back to the cave just yet. He would enter like this top notch hotel and he would be like, why he live in a hotel? Yes. He would then still like keep going. He and now live in a home and he would go to some place and he would buy like this fancy dandy house, you know, three-story house, furnished, whatever. It already completely furnished, all of that, like a villa. Live in one of them, and that's it. He would then sit on a chair and be like, I'm wondering if I saw the times really have changed back in the day. Sitting down on something this soft would be possible. And you just like, you just go sleep in bed and only that's their past, yada yada yada. And no, Deku doesn't necessarily need to eat, but since he could draw a magic from the surrounding areas, mana from the surrounding areas, and that can use as fuel. But he does like the sensation of eating. Yeah, you know, it makes him feel alive, I guess. And that was like, I didn't eat yesterday, trying to see if the humans have advanced in their cooking. And so he would go down to some like restaurant and some fancy dandy restaurant, you know. And he would walk in with like he would walk in with I think so these skills morphed into like clothes, just to say so. And it was kind of like this black jacket, gloves, nails black, all that stuff, like black shoes, black boots, black pants, black belt, all that stuff. And I could walk in the woman like that's like, good evening, sir. How may I help? And she would see Deku. You know, to see Deku look like he ain't got much money. So she was like, "Sir, are you in the right place?" And Deku was like, "No." She like, "What do you mean? Isn't this a place that sells food?" And she was like, "Yes, but this is a high-end establishment, sir." And Deku was like, "Okay, can I get a seat or not?" And she was saying, "Be like, wait this way, sir." No. When I tell you this man eat, this man eats so much. This man sit down call the food advanced, you know, and a more slimy, disgusting looking food like humans used to make in that time. It's more like top quality food, no. So he eating from steak. Right. So he eating from like steak to seafood to deep seafood. whatever sort of meat I think you can find, he eating. Spraying food down the bill come out to like 500, missing like 150 million yen or so, if that's like a lot. And the woman comes and you're like, sir, how do you plan to pay for all this food? And that goes start to stretch and be like, and he would pull out the card that I should give him a name. Let me see. Right, he would pull out the card and get the woman the card and be like, "Is this acceptable?" And she was like, she would see the card and it's like a pitch black, and it's when sun touch it, it glistening. It like it's for the privileged rich niggas. So he would get she card, she would swipe it, and she would ask like, "Sir, you didn't steal this, did you?" That kid was like, "What? Why would I steal something that I've earned?" I mean, actually, he actually steal the gold, but he actually paid for the, he actually earned the money. And I'll be like, Alright, sir. I'll take your word for it. And she'll like, that could be like, And then a few minutes later, she will come back and be like, and then it'll be like the manager, few police, and a few pro heroes, and I'll be like, sir, where did you get this card from? And that could be like, well, I sold some gold and I got some money. Like, is there a problem? And then some arrogant pros would be like, yeah, there's a problem. There's no way someone like you could have gotten that amount of money. Now you know the pros vexed because this riffraff looking fella on that uncut here thing. All of a sudden I got this amount of money and them don't make this amount of money and all of this thing, and also it's salty. And that whole like, well, I mean, I could just think of like, no matter the century, there's always arrogant people like this. I mean, I'm a prideful beast, but I don't casually flaunt around like this. And he'll be like, well, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I earned this money and I'm using my money. If you have an issue, you can ask the person that gave it to me. And the police be like, fine, we'll ask him, sir. You have a number to reach this person, just because I probably forget. And I know I forget. He might give you a business card. And how the name would be it wouldn't got the actual name, it would got like he brand, and he brand is like but you can't think of the name. Well, for you, man, it's some high top place, man. And how it is the villains and the heroes came to agreement that this establishment was a neutral territory. Then what it asked about information from heroes for heroes, and heroes want to ask information from villains. It's a neutral place. So if it's a villain, you can walk inside there, and if you see a hero, you can't fight with him, nothing. Neutral space. It like the Continental from John Wick. That's exactly the fucking name I can keep it. It's the Continental from John Wick. That's what it is. If you don't like it, suck my ass. Good. No homo. No, either way. It will be a black card and it got Continental on it in gold, dog. In gold. And the people will be like, huh, it's from the Continental. So then we'll call and it will be the main personal number, the actual owner of the Continental. And he'll be like, Izuku, my boy, did you find something worth selling to me again? And what he will hear is like the police talking like, excuse me, Mr. Continental. Is that he actual name? What's he wearing now? What is your real name? I think not nickname. That's the name he's go by. We just have to ask that. And the police will start talking like, there's a kid here with a high grade card, and he says he got it from you. And Mr. Continental will be like, yes, he got it from me. We did business together. Is there an issue? And then be like, no, we just didn't expect someone dressed that way to have such a high standard card. And Mr. Continental get to be vexed and start crawling and thing, and then he would tell them police to go on the phone, and the police will hand Deku the phone. Deku will be like, hello. And Mr. Continental will be like, yo, Izuku, I'm sorry for the way they treated you. That's how society is nowadays. Those who are wealthy are envied by those who aren't. So if it's okay with you, I'll deal with the situation, and so it doesn't happen again. And that could be like, well, do whatever you feel like doing. Besides, I don't really mind. And that could have bought the police phone, and he would ask the police for like the number, how many people did this and that. So at the end of all of this, the like the three poor heroes that were causing a ruckus because of that cool got all the money will get suspended from being a hero for a while, and the police will get reprimanded. The girl that caused the issue will actually get laid off. Deku will end up owning that whole building, stuff like that. That's how much power this man got. Alright, cool. Well, that's neat. So, after all of that, now, Deku will head out, and this is when the actual anime would begin. When he would butt upon Mount Lady and the wood fellow fighting each other. This person here that's using the branches is using earth magic, a different part of earth magic. And the gentrification lady, it seems like she's a mix of enhancement and what? Enhancement and reinforcement. Yeah, it's like enhancement and reinforcement. And the thing they're fighting seems to be enhancement mixed with a transformation type quirk. Enhancement and transformation. That's what you make, not reinforcement. And Deku would then stand up and stare like, so some humans are able to separate variants of magic and make it into one specific thing. And then he would start smiling and be like, these creatures never cease to amaze me. And while he started there, we just saw like the villain get sent flying down to here. And then what you saying? The villain gets sent flying down from a kid, the Mount Lady saying he, and it'll be like landing on Deku, and Kami was like, hey kid, watch out. And Deku will like put his hand up in the ear where he other hand still like grabbing his chin, and he will like gripping his fingers in villain back, and villain will holler out in pain, and Deku will look up slowly drop the other hand and just like fling the villain into encapsulate a building. Yeah. And he'd be like, hey, if you're going to fight, watch where you're kicking your enemy. It could cause serious damage to people that surround you. And he would just like walk off, and he would think like, I wonder if there's anyone who's able to use and utilize opposite measures together. Just like smiling at him like this world is truly interesting. Yeah, that's where I'm gonna laugh it off. Really didn't name much of the morning like a backstory type of video leading up to the anime, but yeah. Hope you enjoy. Bye bye.